Señor Presidente, distinguished colleagues, firstly, Panama would like to associate itself with the statements delivered by Guinea on behalf of the G77 plus China, Peru on behalf of ILAC. Additionally, we align with the intervention made by the Dominican Republic and PNG on behalf of the Coalition for Rainforest Nations regarding forest actions and REDD+. Mr. President, we appreciate your hard work in putting forward a good and balanced text which serve as a solid basis for negotiations. We must deliver, and we believe that we are close to deliver. However, the text has really improved, but we must strive for more. Panama's ambition rises from our level of vulnerability, but also from the fact that we are a carbon negative nation. Even though we're carbon negative, we believe we have to do more, and we believe everybody must do more if the survival of humankind is our ultimate objective. Regarding the phase out of coal and fossil fuels, it is sad to see that the current text is weaker than the previous one. Panama would like to echo the voices of youth, scientists, and civil society. We must keep them in the ground. Let's keep them in the ground. Mr. President, the current text does not allow us to keep it on the ground. Secondly, we must keep 1.5 alive. That is the main goal of this conference. If we do not achieve this, we will fail, this conference will fail, and the world as a whole will fail. But in order to keep 1.5 alive, we must ensure that the call to reduce 45% of emissions by 2030 is part of the final version of this text. If we recognize the best available science, we will take a step forward and we will send a right message to the market. Mr. President, we must lead. Moreover, we support the statement given by Korea regarding the annual Youth Forum. We appreciate the current language on the cover decisions to include youth in climate action, especially in decision-making. It is outrageous that the current text does not recognize the importance of international collaboration to understand and address the implications of climate change on global health. This must be a part of the final version. Furthermore, we welcome the recognition and support of the work of the high-level champions in the inclusion of non-state actors for the enhancement of climate action. They have done an outstanding job, and they must be recognized. Additionally, we appreciate the welcoming of the informal summary on the ocean and climate change dialogue, as well as the invitation to integrate and strengthen ocean-based measures in climate action. In terms of Article 6, we strongly believe that the previous efforts of rainforest nations like mine must be recognized, but the current text on Article 6.2 does not provide this assurance. We must assure this in order to move forward. Let me be clear, Mr. President, for Panama, this is a must. Now on loss and damage, we must deliver finance and technical assistance. We believe that we must agree on a platform that is going to truly help the ones suffering the adverse impacts of climate change in the front lines, especially when adaptation is not an option anymore. Therefore, I really ask my developed country colleagues to align their thinking, because right now it is very confusing. In one hand, in this room, they just claim to understand that the climate crisis is real and that it's impacting the most vulnerable, but in another hand, they refuse funding for the people at the front lines. Mr. President, I simply cannot square that circle, and I simply cannot understand their thinking. I just want to remind everybody that the most vulnerable communities did not cause this crisis, but they are paying the highest price. We must deliver for them. This COP must deliver for them. Dear President, everything that we're asking for was already agreed by all of us in 1992. Well, I guess it was agreed by you and all my colleagues because my negotiators and I were not even around. I want to remind this room that the average age of the Panamanian negotiator at this COP is 29 years old, and 65% of our negotiators are young, impressive, and capable women. I guess what I'm trying to say is that our demands are fully in line with the objective of the convention, which seeks to stabilize greenhouse gas emissions in the atmosphere. But we have double emissions in the past 30 years, and the least responsible are suffering. Colleagues, all we're asking you to do is to keep your promises and own your responsibilities on setting this crisis in motion. Nothing less, nothing more. Mr. President, in 2015, we had a magical moment in Paris. The agreement is all about raising the bar to deliver for our current and future generations. All Panama is asking you, your team, and our colleagues is to keep that magic alive. Leaders do not settle for anything less than 1.5. Leaders defend people and biodiversity above profits and politics. Leaders present pledges that actually get us to real zero. Leaders bring youth from all genders, indigenous peoples, and the most marginalized communities to the tables where their future is being negotiated, just as Panama has done. Leaders see the response of COVID-19 as the single greatest generational opportunity for climate action and economic justice. Mr. President, 1.5 is not a choice. It is a necessity. It is a moral obligation. It is a lifeline. And in order to do that, fossil fuels must be kept in the ground. So, Mr. President, let's keep them in the ground. Thank you very much.